Hi everybody, how's it going? I'm Jack Devine. Welcome back to Jacksnax. Today I'm going to share with you the first lick I ever learned on the guitar. So let's start by bringing our hand up to the 7th fret. Okay, our index finger is going to be here. That's going to be the 3rd dot on most guitars, right? From all the way from the nut, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. And we're going to put our ring finger on the 9th fret, okay? On the G string. That's going to be the 3rd from the floor. Okay, E, B, G, okay? And by the way, if you're an advanced guy and you're going, why are you telling me all these details? It's because you're an advanced player. This is not for you. Move along, little doggy. This is for folks that are starting out. This is for people that are, this is their first year or two into playing the guitar, okay? So from the top, if we went from the E, A, D, this is our G string, and we're gonna play it at this E note at the 9th fret. And what we're going to do is we're just going to focus on getting a nice solid bit of contact, and we're going to do an upstroke, okay? And the upstroke, is probably something that, we're working against gravity. We've got a down, so it's just that. And what I want you to do is I want to make sure you're focusing on getting, if this is the pick, I want you to be making sure that you're making contact with the side that's closest to your palm rather than the side that's closest to your knuckles, right? Okay, so we're gonna rotate the pick just a few degrees forward, okay, like that, just a little bit, okay? Not flat. We don't wanna be on the flat part of the pick. We wanna kind of rotate it just a little bit so it's up on this edge, just a little bit. So therefore, if it's on that edge on the downstroke, on the upstroke, we're coming up on this back side here, okay? And we're gonna come upwards like that. Okay, so that's an upstroke. All right, we're gonna start by coming up and bending up towards, okay, the top of the guitar. We're gonna push, the ring finger is gonna push up towards the thumb. And what we're gonna try to do is tuck the index finger and the index finger and the middle finger kind of under the thumb and squeeze the thumb down a little bit. Squeeze from the thumb and push from the forearm back in here. Don't let the little muscles in your fingers do the heavy lifting, okay? You don't ask the smallest guy on the team, all right, to do the heavy lifting, all right? Get these big muscles handling most of it, and these guys, if they come into the picture at all, are gonna be handling very fine motor stuff. Maybe a little bit of wiggle at the end of our note. They call that vibrato, okay? But we're gonna be bending up like that. And what are we doing? We're throwing our thumb over the top and we're squeezing up towards it from the thumb. We're squeezing, and because the thumb can't move, these fingers must, okay? So there we are, and we're just gonna push, it's gonna push up, okay? So pushing the string up towards the low E string, okay? And we're going from the E note, past the F note, into, or all the way into or up to the F sharp note. We're not going past it, okay? We don't want to go, we don't want to come past it, okay? We just want to go a little bit. So hit that. Remember that note, boop, 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 and bend up to it. Okay? Now, once you get that under control, you're pretty much off to the races. That's the hardest part, in my opinion, is learning that bend. We're going to come through the B and E string, okay? Now you're hearing both of them ringing, so we're going to deal with that problem, okay? Right now we're barring across. Now that's the simplest way to play this, but that's not the way you're going to end up playing it. I want to underline that. That is not the finished product, okay? We're going to start out going down, down through both the B and the E string. That's this string and the last one here, okay? We're going to come down towards the ground. We're hearing both notes, okay? They call that barring. What we're going to do is change that technique from bar to what I would call like a pivot, okay? Where we're on the point of the index finger, and then we pivot to the pad of the index finger. And now I'm just by changing how I'm handling this knuckle of the index finger on my left hand, or fingering hand, right? We're no longer hearing, we're hearing. And that is a huge bit of progress. Do not underestimate how valuable learning that is going to be. Just like that bend is super valuable, okay? These are the fundamentals. You cannot go forward without grasping these ideas and really having a command over how to fret 2 notes on adjacent strings with 1 finger. Huge part. It's a cornerstone of playing lead guitar. And how to bend, okay? That's what we end up when we're done. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, what does that turn into? Ultimately, that turns into these licks. That kind of sound. That technique is at the core of all of that stuff. If we don't know how to do that, we can't do any of the stuff that comes afterwards, okay? So take a second, take more than a second, frankly, to learn how to do this bend, and then to come through 2 strings, okay, and pivot, okay? And we're gonna be doing that pivot trick with our ring finger down the road. Okay, we're going to be doing it with our pinky. Okay, it has to be something that we can do because we only have these 4 digits, and hopefully our thumb ultimately gets incorporated into the mix. And now with the pivoting and the ability to stretch up and around, we can cover a lot of ground with just these 5 elements, okay? That's our left hand. Right hand, let's talk about that. Okay, we already talked about how we're using the pick on the front edge on downstrokes and the rear edge on the upstrokes. We're starting on this upstroke, down, down, and that's why we're going to start on an upstroke because the last stroke of our lick is a downstroke. We want to have a smooth and alternating motion with our right hand. If we're going da 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 all the time downstrokes, that can be very effective in conjuring up a very stiff and tight, staticky sound. But every time you take a second downstroke in a row, you're effectively already doing the distance. You're already covering the distance of going and doing an upstroke. Because if we go down and down, we could have just gone down, up, down, right? Right, as opposed to... That's just a lot of this, okay? So we want to try to streamline our right hand and most of all make it feel natural and flowing and sound natural and flowing, okay? Unless, of course, you want it to sound choppy, which is a great sound too. I mean, there's a lot to be said for the difference between going versus one sounds smooth and one sounds aggressive. And so, I'm not trying to say there's only one way to do anything. You just have to know what the ramifications of your choices are, okay? So, back to our little lick, okay? Up, down, down, okay? And that's what's happening with our right hand. Up, down, down, up, down, down. What can we do to augment, to make it bigger? What can we do how does that little cell actually come out and actually become the building blocks? This is kind of like mashed potatoes. Let's look at what are we gonna plunk on top of those mashed potatoes? Let's take a pull off, something like this. Add it on top. That's a good lick to know. Let me turn down a little bit. Okay, so that's just up, down, down, up, pull off. Okay, we can do a note before the lick. After. So that D note, okay, down, up, down, down. We're sliding from the A note up to the 12th fret. That's going to be a B. So we've got this little lick. At the core of just all this kind of like classy, bluesy, jazzy, hard rock. Everybody uses it. So we can use the pull off, an approach note. We can use a bend afterwards. We can do a bend on the B string or the E string. Using that bend, that's everywhere on all those licks. Now granted, there's ideas that precede it and you know, come afterwards. But if you don't have that, you don't have the starch, you don't have the basis, the staple of the dish, right? If we're gonna make this about food, right? Which I love food. That's actually why this channel is called Jacksnax. I was thinking about doing a cooking thing. I cook an awful lot as well as play guitar, so. Okay, so that's the bottom line right there, that little lick. Okay, get that together and then start, you know, adding a note before it. That was 2 notes. And then a bunch of stuff after it. You know, now we've got that technique of and bending. Okay, and a slight addendum. Okay, a great exercise to practice bending accuracy is just bending this note up to that note. See if you can get it to sound like, assuming your guitar is in tune. That is it, my friends. I hope that gets you started. All right. I know you're just starting with the guitar, and it is a difficult instrument with a steep learning curve. There's a lot of coordination between the right and left hand, and all this gear and all this stuff to manipulate. I know it's a lot. So that's kind of why you want a teacher or a friend or a helping hand to guide you. All right. And I'm here for you. So tune in again, and hopefully I'll have more snacks for you, the beginning guitar player, as well as more advanced lessons as you mature. All right, I hope to see you soon, and thanks again for watching. If you like what you're learning here, please subscribe and leave me a comment below. All right, take care.